Okay, we are finally getting into the Adaptronic. Um, I've been putting it off for a while, and I'm fucking sick of dealing with the math inverter tuner and the stock ECU crap. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into this and yeah, work my way through it now. The a bit of a disclaimer here is I got no idea what the fuck I'm doing. To be honest with you, yeah, I'm just gonna learn this as I go. So I mean, it's really just an aftermarket ECU. Just works a little bit differently compared to the stock ECU, and I've done a few Heltecs in the past, so yeah, it should be pretty similar. But yeah, we'll just figure it out as we go. So what I've done is I've just got the ECU plugged in, and I just went in, open ECU file, went into documents, and then Eugene, and then base maps, and then select, and then chose the RX-8 select base map, and this is what I got. So like straight off the bat, I can tell, 1 psi 15 degrees, 3 psi 10 degrees, 7 psi 8 degrees, 6 degrees, 7 degrees. So it is a bit more retarded than I'd like to run. So I think at 9 psi, I'm running about 10 degrees of timing, 10 degrees advance, and this is running about 5. So yeah, I'll definitely be going up because even with the timing I'm running, it's still conservative. So this will definitely be a lot more retarded than what I would ideally want to run. But we'll see how we go first. Now the map is already set up perfectly for the scale. So we're only going to be going to 8,000 RPM, maybe push it to 8.5, maybe 9 if the turbo can handle it, but we'll see how we go. And max boost pressure, I'm never going to go above 15 psi on this engine. I might try on the new engine that I'm building after it's all done, but yeah, for right now 10 psi is going to be the limit, so going to 15 psi is perfectly fine. So yeah, the only thing I've changed is going into inches of mercury and psi for pressure, and temperature in Celsius and AFR for petrol fuel ratio. So you can go lambda, but I can't read it. Like one day I'll get my head around it, but not right now. So let's get into this. So triggering, I believe, should already be set up. So this should be Mazda, and then 2003 RX-8. Yeah, so we need to do confirm the offset once we get it in the car and get it running. So for right now, that's default offset. It's probably going to be a couple of degrees out, but we'll see. We're using the internal map sensor. TPS calibration needs to be done on the car. Coolant temperature sensor, I might probably need to calibrate this, but I'll do it on the car as well. Same with the air temp. And the O2 sensor, I am using default Innovate on spare. So instead of using the APV or VDI, I'm using the trigger for that as an input for 0 to 5 volt for wideband. I don't have the cable for the Adaptronic for the Innovate wideband serial connection, and yeah, it was too much of a pain in the ass. So fuck it, I just put it on a spare and it works. I've been looking it up for a while, and it's a known problem that it works most of the time, and other times it drops out where you chuck it on the spare input and it just works all the time. It's just a little bit slower than what the serial is. So I'd rather it work all the time than sometimes not work and just be faster. So we'll deal with that. Yeah, so that's all we need to worry about there. Timing lock when we get into the car. Yeah, dwell time. We'll set that at 3,500 for the moment. Yeah, so that's good. That's good. Hang on. What was that? So I just changed that to 3,500, and now it's at 4.7. What? Did I do that wrong? Can it let me save it? whatever. One of those things. Now, injector sizes. So we are not using the standard 290s, we're using the 380s in the primary, so I need to set that to 380. We don't have secondary 2 injectors because we're 2-staged. Hey, 0, yeah, 2-stage injection. And the secondary injector size, so that is excluding fuel pressure, so I think that was like 1400 cc's. I'm just gonna have to look it up and check. Yeah, so yeah, the Bosch EV14, which is what I'm running, is 1650 cc at 4 bar, 58 psi, and 1450 at 3 bar. So I think that's right. So 1450 should be good. Okay, that's a lot of information on one page. The variations of the injectors. So anyway, 1450. Fuel pressure minus 29 in HG, so in inches of mercury. I mean, it's kind of important to have that correct for volumetric efficiency, because if we're going to be running 3 bar of fuel pressure or 58 psi, VE is going to be calculated off the fuel pressure, injector sizes, and so on. So I think that is worthwhile having in there. So yeah, I'm just going to set this to 43 psi, which is what is the flow rating for these injectors. So, hey, 43. Wait, what? I swear that said 42 then. Whatever. Yeah, so 43 psi is the base fuel pressure, and that is the fuel pressure for these flow rates here. See, look, 42. And you click on it, it goes 41. What the hell? Yeah, whatever. It's just one of those things. Now, flow rate. So, or dead times. Let's have a look at VersaTune. See what we currently have for flow rates. Actually, it's on my spreadsheet. Where's my spreadsheet? Yeah, cool, that saved as well. Oh, what a fucking pain in the ass that was. Now, what else we gotta do? We've already done that. Injector sizes. Alright, so functions, power cut. Cut fuel, yes. Soft rev limit. Lower that down to 8,000. We'll go 8,100. Just to be cool. 8,100. Cold rev limit 6,000 is fine. Cold temperature 40 degrees, yeah, whatever. Hot rev limit, yeah, don't need to worry about that. Turbo timer off 2,000 milliseconds, yeah. Flat shift, we're not going to be doing that. Ignition cut. Cut all if no ignition switch. Well, that's a given because it's turned off. So, yeah, whatever. Okay, instant overboost power cut. This is a good one that I want. So, overboost power cut. Let's go 13 psi. 14 psi. 1 second overboost. Actually, yeah, so 15 psi for that. Let's go 12 psi for this. So, essentially what that means is if the boost pressure gets to 15 psi, it's an instant cut, regardless of what's happening. It just goes, you've hit 15, fucking fuel's getting cut. where 1 second overboost means the boost can hit 12 psi, but if it stays at 12 psi for more than 1 second, then you get a cut. Now lean out margin, we're not going to turn that on right now because we're going to have to tune the VE. Protection minimum RPM is 0, that's fine. Injector open circuit check. Yeah, I might do that later. And we don't have SSI 4, unfortunately, because yeah, I need to buy the sensor to be able to do this and have all those sensors tied on. So that just ties on to the Innovate wideband and lets you run multiple sensors across serial, which again, you need to have serial working for that to work. So anyway, overrun, I'll leave this stock for the moment, but I know I had some problems when I first tried this ECU. Okay, yeah, anyway, sorry, my phone rang. So yeah, I'm just going to leave this standard for the moment, but I know I had problems when I first put this on the car, when I got it like three months ago or so. I've had this ECU for a while. And yeah, the overrun kept kicking in because the throttle position was less than what it wanted, and yeah, anyway, it just kept going fuel cut. So leave it at standard for the moment, and leave flood clearing turned on. Launch control, yeah, that's going to be fun, but don't have that right now. Don't need to worry about any of this because I don't have any control over the OMP anyway. Now, target AFR. So this is an interesting one. So this is only comes into effect for closed loop, unless you run closed loop in the entire map, then yeah, which you shouldn't be doing really, unless you really trust closed loop that much. So yeah, like the car should be able to idle and run in closed loop at 14.7 because it's a Renesis. It can do that, where the old school rotaries, the the REW and the Series 5 Turbo 2s and all that kind of stuff had to idle at like 13.5, but these ones should not need that. So I'm just going to lower this to 11.2, 7 psi, 12, okay, 11.8, and 0 psi, 12.5. We'll go 12.7, and that we'll go 13.5. Actually, that's more like cruising, so now that can stay at 14.7. This is atmospheric pressure, so we'll just go 13 on that. 7 psi, yeah, we'll keep that at 12. And then 15 psi, we definitely want rich. So that'll, yeah, I might have just bumped that up to 11.5. We can always change it later. Now, I'm not running flex fuel at the moment, so that's not a problem. RPM rate correction, don't need that. No, we don't need that. Closed loop mode, so we should be in closed loop already. Fuel map. So this is just a basic fucking fuel map that they give you. Yeah, it's going to be hopefully easier to modify. Now, spark split. Yes, 10 degrees. What are we running anyway? Separation. So running 5 degrees separation and 15 degrees separation for the rest of the map from 100% load onwards. So 100% load onwards, so from here onwards, this is set to 15 degrees. And then we have, well, actually even 0. No, we'll leave that because that's borderline, because it'll just interpolate between 0 and minus 15, which is roughly about this area here, and then this is like full vacuum. So 25%, low RPM is 5, then it goes high. So Really? Why is that 0? I thought that would be 5. 0% map, full vacuum. Yeah, it should be 5. Anyway, that'll do for that for the moment. Dwell time, yeah, we've already done that. 3500 milliseconds. So, I think we're pretty much good to go for this. Let's just see what happens when we convert fuel map 1 to VE. What does that do? That would already be done. Fuel map 1. Jesus. Am I in fuel map? Yeah, I'm in fuel map, aren't I? Yeah, right. Okay, so we've got a problem here. That only gets to 9 psi. And I'm going to be running a little bit more. Why does it only go to 9 psi? Interesting. Fuel map 2 goes to 15. Oh, okay, because it cuts there. I might have to increase that cut a little bit, maybe. I'm going to have a play with this and see what's going on, because see how these are in red now. That's because protection mode for boost pressure. So I'm going to play with this and then come back and show you what we did. Okay, well that was easy. But it's completely fucking random. But see down the bottom here, there's this little fucking thing. It was scrolled down, but it wouldn't scroll up. So like this. So I just scroll up and it goes away. I got no idea. I'm not going to argue with it. So whatever. Now, I converted this, and I don't know if that was the right idea, because yeah, that looks fucking weird. Where this is millisecond value, obviously. This is volumetric efficiency. Every time you go in there, it moves it. Anyway, it might be right, because last time I think I started this, it was around the 70, 60 mark. So yeah, maybe we'll see. We'll go plug it in the car, start it up, and see what happens, I guess. Got to check the timing first as well, make sure that's all good. So we'll move over to the car and we'll go from there. Alrighty, let's go get this in the car. It's fucking cold out here though. I've been in the garage all day with the heater turned on, so I'm used to 24 degrees and it's like 15 out here. Alright, let's find a place to put the camera. And that'll do. I need to grab a 10mm fucking socket and ratchet, which is all everywhere at the moment because of all the big rush before rotary right. Where the hell did my ratchet go? Oh, I've got a small one, fuck it. Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, fuck, it's cold out here. Alright, so ECU time. thankfully it is quite simple to put in. So I've already got the cage out because obviously I've been dealing with this for a couple of months. Because normally there's a little air vent thing that comes around and gets pulled from the front and cools everything down, but I've removed all that. Stock ECU out. What's going on there? And we'll go, this one goes in the middle, so that's my wideband from the Innovate. Love those clicks. Cool, that just gets plugged in. Wait. Is that on the wrong side? No, that's on the right side. Yeah, because I took it off of this side because it doesn't go to the ECU. Fuck, I had a brain fart then. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Yeah, no, that's alright. I can stay there. So obviously this is a 4-port, not a 6-port, so I don't need one on this side to go in. Otherwise, you'd have to patch it into your middle port here to go through this. But because I don't have the need to come out of the middle on the 6-port to go into the 4-port ECU, like it's blocked off, so I don't need to have it there. And plug the factory ECU back in. Now I'm just going to get a USB cable because I don't want to be taking this off on and off all the time, and plug it into the front. And we've got to plug in the map sensor as well. So I've already got a cable in here. Vacuum source, one I prepared earlier. Yeah, grab my USB cable. Now I'm probably going to leave the USB cable plugged in all the time, so I can just have it in the car. I don't have to be coming in here and I'm doing this box just to plug in the ECU. So we'll run it through this little slit that I made in here for the vacuum line. Run it down here and put it there for the moment. Okay. Now, gotta go grab my laptop and let's have a look at see if we can get it started up. Alrighty. So let's move some shit out of the way so it doesn't end up in the frickin' fan belts. Now, I've got to calibrate TPS. So I'll be under input, TPS. Okay. So this is closed throttle, so learn. And then this is open throttle. Yep, beautiful. So yeah, you just 0% throttle, don't put your foot on the accelerator, hit learn, put your foot all the way flat to the floor and then hit learn and it calibrates. What else do we need to do? Temperature sensors, what are we looking at here? So 18 degrees, 18, 19. Matte. What is matte? M-A-T. Mozzie, go away. Might just have a look at what the Raceworks calibration is. Jesus, my laptop's slow. Air temp manual. Oh, there it was right there. Oh, hang on. I think it's that one. Yeah, that's the one. ATS 026. Hello? Empty manual? Ah, as soon as if I can get it closed, it loads. Come on. It's getting colder. Okay, so 0.45 volts is 120 degrees. So 0.45. Can that go up? I guess that's 4.5. I need to go trigger in. Alright, let's give it a try. Okay, well that was easy. Fucking started straight away. Timing is definitely wrong there. Let's go. Where's timing lock? A little bit out. So, let's have a look at this. I don't know if this will pick it up on the camera. Yeah, it's a little bit out. So, better go into ignition, 33 degrees. So we've got 33 degrees on the screen, and Mark lines up by the looks of things. So happy with that. Now, then turn off the timing lock, make it a bit happier. So we want AFR. The AFR, whatever that one is. What else do you want? Want trim. Target AFR. Whoa. Okay, well that's interesting. Because, yeah, that's a 10 AFR, I don't think so. Car wouldn't be running if it was 10. Okay, so let's have a look at the inputs under ANA02. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna chuck in my wideband, my OBD reader, and see if we can get a result out of that too, and see if that is actually accurate, because I don't think it is. Okay, so that's what I'm getting on my phone from that OBD. 11.15, so maybe it is right. I'm surprised it's running at 10. Fucking hell. So let's go to injectors. So we'll go I took it down too low. Okay, so these ones here need to come down a touch. Right. Okay, so now we've still got 10.5, 10.4-ish. A bit too much. Okay, so we'll go these ones. Okay, let's try and get the AFR a little bit leaner. 12.5 is a bit rich. $12.6, 13, 14. Okay, let's give it a try in going tuning mode. Hello. Yeah, that's right. Where the fuck's tuning mode? Adaptive mode. Closed loop mode, there it is. So we'll go rapid learning. Now, it should pick up itself and start figuring out what it needs to do. Because we're already at temperature. Jesus, that went dark, didn't it? So we've got that going. Just gonna let it idle for a bit. Just trying to get the AFR down a little bit, but we'll see. Everything else looks to be working, so give it a little bit to figure this shit out, and then yeah, we'll come back and check it. Alrighty, so we are just doing some on the volumetric efficiency table now, or the fuel map table. So as you saw, I got the car running and I messed up. So I went into map tools and I hit this. Don't do that. Or maybe it was this one. So yeah, it completely fucked up the map. So I loaded a stock tune, copied the VE over, and then reapplied it to this. I've also changed the scale as well, because it was like 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, whatever, all the way up to like 10,500. So I just set it to conventional 5, like 0, 5, 750, 1,000, 1,250, and then 500 increments after that. Now, this is what I've got so far. So with the stock VE map, it was a little bit over, but it still ran fine. I just sat on the driveway and just had it idling. So I was idling roughly about here. And I just started tweaking these cells here to get it to 14.4 AFR. And then just increase the RPM, did these ones and then these ones and whatever, until I was comfortable that it was going to idle correctly. And it does now. Now I'm pretty much just going to go for a drive and see how close we are with everything else. So we'll probably switch over to the car. I'll put the GoPro on the car so we can record this. But what I have done is I was in rapid learning mode instead of closed loop. And I found that it doesn't do fucking anything, probably because I don't understand enough about it. But initially when I first tried it, it worked and it was changing things and it was good. And then now it doesn't want to change a fucking thing, even though the AFR could be 13, or even at one point this morning it was like 12.1. It was supposed to be 14.4. It was pulling 22% trim out, but it didn't change anything in the map. So what I'm going to do is go to closed loop, run these settings, and then log it, and then come back and use Megalog to see where we need to improve the map. And yeah, we'll go through that setup as well, but yeah, let's go over to the car and see what we're looking at. Alright, so we got the laptop set up in the car, and we're just recording this as we go. I don't really need to record the screen this time because the log viewer is fucking awesome in this. So I guess we'll just start off with correcting a little bit of this crap going on here. Alright, let's go see what we can do. Damn microphone, it's always in the fucking way. So I'm currently idling at 14.4. 14.7, I just didn't like it. But we'll see. Now with closed loop enabled, it might actually work. Just turn on map trace. I don't know why I didn't think of closed loop before. I was just like, oh, we'll just go straight into rapid learning. Closed loop seems to work alright. I have already set up the ignition table as well, as far as I can interpolate from a tune I was running. So I just matched the load values with PSI ratings and everything else, and yeah, we'll see what happens. least it's pretty drivable. It doesn't complain at all. It's actually pretty smooth compared to what I thought it would be anyway. I have not gone into boost yet, and I'm not going to yet. Because, yeah, the tune is not ready for boost. The VE is not even close to being ready for boost. Looks like I need to add a little bit of fuel in a few spots. A lot of other places seem to be good though. Interesting. I can see the check engine light keeps coming on too and resetting, and that's what the Adaptronic does, is it doesn't suppress them, it just resets them whenever they come up. It's kind of a weird situation. But the piggyback's like, no, fuck off. And the stock ECU is like, but there's a problem, and it just goes, nope, reset. So you see it flash, and it stops flashing. AFR seems to be holding about 13.3. Now let's give it a little bit of load to go on, and then we'll see what it looks like then. Awesome. Like, when you start looking at logs like, or a map like this, you realize how much of the fuel map you don't really use when you're cruising around. Like, I'm using like maybe a quarter of the map. That's just driving around every day. So we're a little bit lean in the 4,000 RPM range, which I expected because I haven't touched that, and a little bit rich in the 4,500 RPM range. Please stop. Fuck, you know. People in those roundabouts. Norfolks and roundabouts, people just don't understand them. You gotta treat it like everyone's gonna run into you. Because everyone probably would. That typical rotary bounce. Trying to build a little bit of boost pressure then, but I don't know if I did. Looks like I might have. So we're back at the computer now. I'm just going to have a look at the log and see what we're looking at. And Eugene. So we got this here. that's the log there. So I've set up Mega Log HD for Adaptronic logging, just so I can get some decent information, like I was doing with VersaTuner. So yeah, I just got obviously injector duty cycle, trims, AFR targets, map, RPM, etc. And I've also set up the histogram and tables to match the axis on the VE. So I've got RPM down the bottom here, and I've got manifold pressure and vacuum on the left y axis. So I've got RPM on X, Y is map, and Z is Adaptronic AFR error. So what that is a calculated field. So I got this one from Horsepower Academy. Pretty simple. It's just AFR, so logged AFR divided by target AFR minus 1 times 100 to give you a percentage. So this is a percentage value of how far the VE is out. Surprisingly, it wasn't a hell of a lot. So with throttle closed, like throttle obviously, yeah, throttle closed, turned off. I hate it when Megalog does that. Yeah, everything's pretty damn close. Here's a little bit, needs a little bit of fuel. There definitely, but we turn on throttle closed because anything after 1000 RPM is technically coming off of throttle or going onto throttle. So we turn throttle closed off, and now we've got this. So that means that those cells that we're saying needs 25% was actually from D cell coming back to idle. So yeah, we've got these here. So pretty much I've just gone through and just added, taken 9% out of here, 4% out of here, 2% out of here, added a little bit, couple of percent into here, and then yeah, we're looking at this now, and that one. So that's the current VE that we'll be working with. So yeah, there's not a hell of a lot I had to change, just a little bit here. So what we want to do now, because closed loop I've got it set to go to 8000 RPM, is increase from, from a stop or a standstill or whatever, from rolling, and try and get all the way through to 7000 or 8000 RPM at a relatively decent pace, not just like slowly in real vacuum, but close to low boost as possible. So we can get some low boost areas and tweak that VE so we can get, I just realized I haven't resized that, my bad. Yeah, so we can tweak the VE so we can get a baseline, because you can see this is where we've been tweaking a lot. So 51, 53, and then 54, 58, 58, 59, 66, 68, 70, 68. So it's really going up in around 3 to 4% as we go up. So we should be able to get a baseline as we increase on the VE and increase the load, that we should be able to guess or guesstimate on what we need to put up here before we actually get there. But this should be way too rich anyway, but yeah, we'll see what we're looking at. Everything's looking good. It's sitting around 13.5 to 14 AFR, except on throttle closed, obviously. Got a 10.9, wow. Didn't think the fucking coils would fire at 10.9, but apparently they do. the speed limit. I really need to install an exhaust gas temperature sensor now though, because yeah, there's no way to get it on the Adaptronic. I think VersaTuner must be just guessing. I don't know how the fuck it actually gets it, because yeah, I don't have an exhaust gas temperature sensor, but it was giving me one in the log. So I got no idea. Let's just set the boost controller to zeros on everything. So it'll see wastegate pressure when it sees wastegate pressure, and it won't fucking respond to it and hold it back. Just want to be able to get as much info as possible for lower boost levels. Not complaining about much. There's the old Lexus IS200. Oh, we're reading some boost level. Don't turn off screen. Jesus. I got some weird fucking sounds going on in the behind the dash with coolant. So I'm assuming I have a blocked heater core, because I turn a corner and I can hear water slushing around in there. So I don't know. I've never heard it until recently, and I've only just started using the heater. So. The whole way through that pull. That was good. I've got to get a little bit more higher RPM log, I think, but we're definitely running rich up top. She's cruising around comfortably at 14.5 with 0% trims, 0 to 1% trim, so I'm fucking happy with that. It's so much easier to do than fucking VersaTuner. Like, so much fucking easier. Like, holy shit. It took me weeks to get to this point with VersaTuner when I had no fucking idea what I was doing. Comfortable enough to go into a boost now. Like, it's happy. Ignition timing is set to the same as what I was running, but now I'm running a little bit richer. Makes me think I can probably turn the boost controller on in the Adaptronic and not use the e-boost, but I kind of want to have control over boost, so we'll see what happens. But it's the middle of the day and there's not many people around, so I can drive however I need to drive to get these logs done. Definitely running it a bit rich. Seeing 10.5 AFR. So we got the log up for what we just did, And yeah, there's no point looking at this. It's better off just looking at this because it's so much easier to look at. And yeah, you can see definitely it's pretty good. Need a little bit, take a little bit out of here. That's interesting, 39% there. That's really fucking weird. Anyway, have a look at that in a sec. And yeah, I mean, we started getting a bit more into the higher rev range with the boost, and yeah, starting to see that we definitely need to take some more fuel out. So we'll open up Eugene. Such a weird name for a fucking app. Eugene. And we are on version 3. Does the same thing that VersaTuner does and opens full screen every time. Alrighty, let the fun begin here. So one thing that's cool about Eugene is you can go, right, I want to play back this log. So we'll go into the log and we'll turn on trace on here. So just push T on the keyboard and you can trace as you drive. Obviously if you skip it doesn't trace, but it only traces if you're playing it back. So you can see exactly where things happen and etc, etc. It's kind of cool. I think it's cool anyway. And the live information for during the playback. So anyway, cool feature. Pretty fucking helpful. Like if you go at the track or something and you want to see wide open pool logs, like this would be fucking awesome. Like this is a life changer. And it's been around for like 20 years. So yeah, anyway. Let's get into what we need to do. So obviously this is where everything, it says right here. Your average AFR was 15.84, target was 14, error is 1.8. And it needs 12%. So the quick trim is saying put it at 80.85, which is 12% higher. Like it literally tells you what to do. Same with here, same with here. So, I mean, technically we could literally just let it play back and then look at this and go, okay, we'll go off of this and just open that. That's as simple as it gets. It'd be nice if it would, yeah, anyway, yeah. So, because we use a Megalog, this is more of a, honestly, I think it'll be the same. After it plays back over and over and over and, the RPM goes through that cell multiple times, the average will change and exactly the same as this. This is the entire log. This is only however long I played it for. So I might let it play through and then compare the two and see which is easier. All right. Yeah. All right. So obviously you can see the whole map, like the areas that we just drove in, has all been filled out. And yeah, you can see some very rich spots. So 28% rich, 22, 29, 22, 24, 21. It's a bit different to this though. Because if we have a look at, say, that one, let's have a look at that one there. So that one's 29.9% too rich. So average AFR was 10.1. And it was supposed to be 14.4. So that is what, 5,500 RPM, 22 inches of mercury. Didn't even come up in the log. Is that because it was throttle closed? Yeah, there it is. So it must have gone from up here straight down to here and then down that way. So it would have been a 6,000 RPM, and then I've taken my foot off accelerators, come down here and then gone this way. Okay, that makes sense. So I think this area here, we'll leave Megalog to do this stuff. And and we might be able to do this stuff in here, because yeah, or we can do it all from here. I guess we can probably do it all. We went to 9 psi. No, we didn't. Only read 7. One hit. I don't know. Maybe it spiked for a second, but it wasn't enough for it to log properly. I don't know. I don't know why it would be saying there's 9 here, but only 7 here. So, whatever. 3,500 RPM. 7 psi. So this is saying 2.5%. This is saying 9%. So the AFR there was 11.5. The target was 11.8. Interesting. 4,000. It was 10% different. Yeah, so that one's right. Maybe there just wasn't enough hits there. I don't know. I'm confused. Probably as confused as you are right now. So anyway, I'll go through, make these changes to this, and then see if we can get a better benchmark for everything up top here. Not that we're going to be going up that high like anytime soon. Really, this is probably going to be the area we're going to have to focus on the most. But yeah, now I can see that we're, 80% there is it's a little bit too rich. 80% there is very rich. 81% there is very rich. 85% is very rich. So yeah, we need to reduce all this down, which will mellow out that area. Yeah, we'll get stuck into that and get it uploaded. Okay, we're back in the car and we got the tune to upload. I had to do some work, so it took a little bit longer than I thought it would. My clutch pedal's making a fucking noise now. Probably turns up with the spring back in. I might have to just buy a new clutch pedal. Cause yeah, those bushes were gone. It's 75 degrees, so should be sweet now. Yeah, 20k is on a full tank of fuel. I'm already down to a quarter. Like, already used a quarter of fuel. Should run in rich as shit when I first started it. That's a bit better. Maybe a little bit lean in the mid-range. Seen a little bit of yellow, but it's a lot lighter blue than the fucking ocean blue that I was seeing. Everything was just blue everywhere, and it was dark blue. Now it's like a light blue and light yellow. Beautiful, that is much better. Much better. still a tiny bit rich, but nowhere near as bad as what it was. I think I was 11.4 or something. Alright, so we're back at home. Just making sure I'm opening the right fucking log. I think that was the right one. One sec. So under documents, Eugene, logs, internal. Yeah, 1238. Cool. Alright, so this is the log for what we just did. Now, you can see definitely too much fuel up here. And this is where we saw the breakup. Too much fuel here, too much fuel here, too much fuel fucking everywhere. Turn off throttle closed. Actually, yeah, turn off throttle closed. Yeah, so see the map running up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. So we started seeing a bit more boost towards the end, and this is where it broke up right there. So yeah, it's trying to pull out 20% of fuel, and it just couldn't do it. And that is right here. And you can see AFR 9.9. And it even went down to 9.8. So yeah, definitely need some fuel taken out from here. Because that should be like 11.5-ish. Alright, so we got Eugene open again, and yeah, this is a VE that we're running for this log. So what we want to do, so I did go up to 5 psi, which is good because I wanted to see some boost pressure. Now we'll start with the mid range here and just pull the fuel out from here. So that's at 6 inches of mercury, 25 to 35. So 6 inches, 25 to 35, and we've got to pull 5% out. So we do P minus 5. A little spot just there. So that's done. Guess we can do these two, or just take 2.5% out of those two. So that's 3 to 3.5. Was it 2.5? So I'll just take 2.5 out of each. Won't worry about the 1%ers. 18 to 2,000. Take 3%. So P minus 3. Now, these ones. So 14 at 5,000. So this is 14. And we got 5,000 there. And that is 15%. That's a lot of fuel. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's high RPM, low load. So yeah, it shouldn't be that much. 20%. So you can kind of see now a pattern here. Yeah, so all this would be lower because obviously it's in vacuum, it's not in pressure. And you're not really filling the chamber up, and it's going to be high RPM, vacuum, low volumetric efficiency. Not again. Bloody hell. Alright, so we've done those two. So we'll do these two. So that is this one here, so 15% out of there. And 7% out of there. 9.5 out of here. 5% out of here. And that is 2 inches of mercury, yes. 5,500, yes. Take 12.5%. take 9%, 16%. So yeah, as you can tell, definitely added way too much fuel up here. What was that? 11. Okay, now this is what we want to see. So now you can see a pattern forming here where it's all through here and all through here is low spots, and then all this spot here is high. So now obviously we'll do the rest in the middle here, but we should see this part here start to smooth into this part here, and then we can interpolate across and interpolate up. It should give us a better or closer VE. I just got to go off a base here, so we can go, right, well, this is 70, this is 71, so that went up 1 point or 1%, and then this is 74, this went up 3%, this is 75, that went up 1%, this is 70, this went down 5%, this went up 4%, anyway. We should be able to get a benchmark to be able to just go, right, well, every time the RPM row increases, it goes up, 3 or 5%. So then we can go, right, okay, in this one increased by 5, this one increased by 5, this one increased by 5, etc., etc., etc. And then at the end here, these will decrease because VE will decrease, turbo will run out of power, or efficiency, and boost pressure will drop. So that's what we should see happen as it comes down here. So I'll go through and do all them, and then I'll come back and show you what we've done. Alrighty, so I have gone through and made those changes, and yeah, you can see a big spot just here now. This is what it looked like before. So you can see that all this section here has all been dropped down. So now what we want to do is smooth out these areas, so that area there and that area there. So I'm just going to exit teams, go away teams. So we got sort of like a bench line just here, so we can go, okay, well, 71, 72, 78, 78. I reckon these parts here will need a little bit of tweaking. So we can technically interpolate them by holding Y, but it will counteract what we've already done. So we've got 79 to 91, that's a big jump. And we can see 72 to 78, 78, 79, 91. So this one's probably going to be more like 80, 84. This one here, 80, so 70, 74, 80, so it's 6, down a little bit, up. So we'll go 85, oops, 85. And then this one is 70, 73, 75, 79, 74, 75, 76. So this one may be more like 80. Yeah. We'll go 84 just to be safe. A little bit more fuel. That way we can actually get into it and see what the fuel is going to be like without being lean accidentally. So 59 to 64, so that's 5 points. 64 to 70, that's another 5. 70 to 71, that's only 1. 71 to 79, that's 8 points. Then it goes down in VE for some reason, and then up even more. So we'll do 85 as well. Why do I keep doing 75? Bloody hell. Now, same deal here, 65, 74, 76, 75, 77, so 83. Now, let's have a look at 5,500. Yeah, I didn't get a log for that, but I can tell based off of that, and that, it would have been at least 15% rich. And we didn't see 7 psi at 5,500 RPM, so we'll just do 88. Just bring it down a little bit, and then this would be 95. This would be 90, 90, This will be, let's just say 97. A bit more realistic. 105, 105, 105. And yeah, alright, so now we can get this and we can interpolate that across to smooth her out. Now, we haven't gone this high yet, so I have no idea what it's going to be like up here. But assuming by this trend here, 75, 77, 79, 78, 76, I'm going to say this is going to be more likely to be around the 80 mark. This will be about the 80 mark as well. 80. Actually, let's make these, just to be safe, 83, because that's 82. I don't think we've gone that high in the rev range, have we? No, we haven't. So we'll leave them as is. That one, maybe like 85. This one like 90, 95, 98, 102, 105. Now we can grab these two. Excuse me. Yeah, there we go. Okay, no, not like that. So we'll grab those here and bring them down a bit more realistic. Bring that one down one, that one down one, that one down one or two. These ones are really unrealistic. Alright, so now we want to get rid of this stupid lump just here. I think that's from that. Alright. And we don't really want to have high spots. I get that's still a little bit high for my liking, but yeah, we've got a big ridge just there. So we'll go here and we will interpolate that, smooth her out. Now I did see this in the Versatuner VE as well. So there was always a weird low spot here around the 4 to 4.5, 5,000 RPM range. I'm assuming, yeah, I don't know why, but I had the same thing in Versatuner as well. We might just smooth out this section here. Okay. I don't like how that 79's there, like it doesn't make sense to be there. Need to bring that down a little bit more realistic. Alright, I'll leave it there. We'll save as, so this is version 3. And we'll go give this a test and see what we're looking at now. And we've removed a lot of fuel from up here, so we can get into boost at higher loads. Obviously I'm not going to see this much right now, so we'll give this a try and see what we're doing. Alright, so I got lazy. I made a spreadsheet. So same thing I did for VersaTuner, I just did it again. So we have a table for the current VE. We have the mega log pasted log from here. So you just highlight the whole lot, copy it, and then paste it into here. Now I did remove a couple of those weird ones, like the 39 there, and there was like a 70 or something that I saw for some fucking random reason. Yeah, there they are, 70s there. I removed them because, yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing there. But that was, yeah, I don't know. Can't be right though. The only one hidden on them, so it must have been coming down from something, and it was in fuel cut, so anyway, pasted that in there and then did a calculated field. So this is cell 1 in that table plus cell 1 in this table equals that. So now all I've got to do is every time I make a change, go for a drive or go for a log or whatever, I paste the VE here, load the log up in Megalog, paste it here, remove any of those weird fucking massive fuel cut ones, and then copy this and paste it into here, and then that gave me this. So now you can see what's going on with the VE a little bit easier, and that saves a shitload of time. Helps if you could see this screen. So that's what the VE looks like now with those things, with that pasted in. You can see there's a big dip just here. So we go from 60 to 80. Now that's probably because I haven't gone into the 6,000 RPM range much and in boost, and this is at 1 PSI. So I'm expecting this to go, 65, 68, whatever, up to 75 to 80, and then increase to 90 or something as we go up. Now, I think it might be the injectors aren't being calculated correctly because I put in the injector values minus fuel pressure. So it was the yellow injectors are normally 479 in VersaTuner, and in Eugene it was 380. And the Bosch EV14 1650 cc's were 1450 cc's at 3 bar of fuel pressure instead of 4 bar. At 4 bar it's 1650. So I think, yeah, it doesn't. There's multiple ways to skin a cat here. Like you can run lower numbers in here and the wrong injector duty cycle, injector capacity, or you can run high capacity and lower numbers in here. No, higher numbers. Yeah. Anyway, because VE is all calculated off the injector size, the air intake temperature, the RPM, all that kind of shit, and then this is how much air is getting pumped into the engine, and then it calculates how much fuel to add. So if I've got bigger injectors than what I actually do, like I'm saying I've got 1450 cc secondaries and I've actually got 1650, then it would be opening the injector longer, which is pumping more fuel in, which means the VE's got to come down to pull fuel out. So yeah, anyway, it doesn't really matter. It does the same job. It's just the thing that I've always been told with VEs is when you're in boost, technically you're in positive pressure, so you technically are filling the chamber with positive pressure. So that means that chamber should be 100% full or more. But yeah, even on VersaTuner, I never saw really above 100. It was always 85 to 90, 90% in the VE. So yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. So what I want to do is move out this shit, because that is quite the lump right there. So basing off of this, 63, 63, 64, 64. I don't know why that goes down there. Yeah. I think we might see a bit more of different logs once I start going wide open throttle. That might be possibly change things a fair bit. But I haven't done that yet. So, yeah. Guess we'll just see. Right now, we might just interpolate these across, smooth them out per se, and get rid of all those big lumps. because yeah, it doesn't seem right, but I could be wrong. I just don't know why it dips there. It doesn't make sense. Like, it should be increasing, not decreasing. As I just didn't have my foot down enough. So anyway, I'll add a little bit more in there just to make it all happy and make it look a little bit better. Not that it really matters as long as it's functional. But yeah, this one here definitely doesn't seem right to me. 69 is a good number, so I'll go 70, just so we can smooth that out, because it should be like a weird little hump in the middle there. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just smoothing out the map, trying to get a baseline, trying to fix all these little dives and rises everywhere. And what I didn't realize is with the Adaptronic, it interpolates the next value over quite heavily. So as you're moving into the cell, it's actually grabbing the next cell over and the next cell after that and trying to guess what it's going to actually use. So if you got 70 in the cell you're in and you got 80 in the next cell and then 90 in the cell after that, it's already moving to the 80 to 85 to get to the 90. So that's why this took a lot longer than I thought it would, because I didn't take that part into account, that you need to make sure that it's smooth. Otherwise, it's going to be interpolating 2 cells over as you're moving, depending on how quickly you're moving through the cell. So we'll just get this squared away and then we'll move on to the next part. Alright, I think we'll give that a shot. This area is what I want to see, as well as what's going on there. So we don't know what's going to happen. It could run really fucking rich or it could run really fucking lean. So we'll see. But I've got to wait for peak hour to die off before I can go for another drive, because yeah, I've got a feeling this is going to be a little bit wrong. But yeah, with all those hills and dips everywhere, there would have been a bit more of a skewed result. Like, you know, you're coming in, revs coming up to here, and that's 90 here, but it's 60 down here. It's going to be interpolating halfway across and giving you a 70. So it's better off bringing that area down and bringing that area up a little bit, and then meeting the two together so it's a smooth transition. But give it a try and see what we're dealing with. What's going on there? Oh, this is the idle. To bring that up a little bit. Hmm, 54, 55, 58. And then there's a dip right there. What is that? 52. Yeah. And these ones here are never going to get touched. So just slant them off, make them look a bit prettier. Nice smooth transition into the next area. Whether or not that's the right call, who fucking knows, but let's go find out. At least I can get the car to idle like this and see if I completely fucked it up. Alright, let's move over to the car. Alrighty, so I did a few pulls off camera and did a few more logs and found some issues. So in the injector sizes, I had 3 bar instead of 4 bar values, so I've changed these to the 4 bar values, so 480cc for the yellow and 1650 for the Bosch EV14s, and also changed the dead times a little bit because it was causing a little bit of fueling problems, so that's what I'm running now. Now the spreadsheet I was using, it was I literally just found it like 10 minutes ago and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. So in Adaptronic, you have this option to reverse the values. So you have PSI or boost pressure at the top and then vacuum at the bottom. And that's how I was running. And I didn't realize it, but when you copy this out and put it into a spreadsheet, it actually copies in reverse. So it displays it reversed here, but it copies it normally. So when I was doing this with the spreadsheets, I was getting some weird results because I was like, why am I getting like tweaks at high boost but low RPM? And I didn't realize that it was because this is swapped. So I just looked at this figure and was like, hang on, that's 52. You're supposed to be 65 because it's 65 here. I was like, okay, well, that's 85. That's 86, but that's 85. So if you're going to do it this way, make sure you don't reverse it because it's just going to copy it like this. So even though exactly on the screen is what it looked like, when you copy it and paste it, it copies it not reversed. So this was all messed up. So I just had to reverse the axis on all of them, and also in Megalog because yeah, it was definitely wrong. So I went into here and reversed this axis as well. So now it's all at the top. And now all the changes are at the top of here, which means it reflects on the top of here. So when I copy and paste it back in, it's on the top here. Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't like a massive problem for this and this, but it was for this. So Megalog was putting it at the bottom because that's where I thought it was. So because vacuum was at the bottom and boost was at the top. So all of these cells here were getting updated down the bottom here, which means that when I copied it and pasted it into here, it was updating everything down here. But when I was pasting it back into here, it was reversing. So I spent a couple of hours doing some tunes yesterday and was wondering why I was seeing some weird results. So anyway, so I'm going to go do this log now. And yeah, then we'll come back and have a look at it again. But it's looking pretty damn good at the moment. Alrighty. Alright, so going for the drive and we are back. So let's have a look at this and see what we're dealing with. And I did go a few full wide open throttle. Jesus, that was hard. Alright, so yeah, we've gone for the drive. This is a log for it. A few wide open throttle pulls. Hello? Man, Jesus, that was fucking difficult. Yeah, so overall it's not too bad. Where is my current tune? Vision 3. Alright, so that's the V that we're working with. Yeah, I'm so much happier with this. Before, when I was tuning it with the wrong injectors, it was like there was dips here and there was rises over here and then it was like massive over here and then over here was flat. It was all fucked up, and yeah, compared to what we're dealing with now, it's so much better. So we'll just do a quick log change on here. So I'll paste in the current values, copy that, paste in this, and copy that, and then paste in here. Okay, so now we can see what's going on here. So this is idle range, this is low RPM, and then this is going into boost. So you can see we need a bit more fuel up the top here, so definitely up here through this range we need more fuel. Which is good because yeah, I was worried about that. I'm like, why is the VE not over 100% in boost? Because it should be, it's adding positive pressure, so it should be filling the chamber, which means it should be above 100. Yeah, so now that's fixed. So I'm going to go through and make a few changes here, clean up this crap because yeah, I don't know why that's pulling, because of these stupid things right here. No, yeah, that's the ones. So that is throttle closed, yeah, so it's taking fuel out of here. So that'll be why there's such a big dip there. I might even remove them because I don't like that. There's no way we need to take 20%, because that'll be during a transition, I reckon. Where did I go? Full throttle. Trying to find where I went at that point. Yeah, right there. So that was going down into boost. Interesting. And then, yeah, changing gear, and it went through there. Okay, so we're going to remove them. Probably going to remove all of that and all of that. So that'll be that there, and that there. Should probably make it so you can see it, eh? Yeah, that's moved it out a hell of a lot. Alright, so now we can work on interpolating this area here. So you can see now there is a pattern, and this is what I've been looking for the entire time, and I just haven't been able to see it until now. So we've got VE coming up. So here we go 84, 90, 92, and we go down a little bit. Then we go 92, 99, 101, 107, 109, and then back to 90. So we know that this is going to increment about 3 to 4 points every time, maybe even 2 to 3 points. Big jump right there. And then it plateaus. So we'll probably set this to like 112. This one here goes up probably about 115 maybe. And I don't think I went high enough into here to really get it, but we can kind of use this as a benchmark. So 96 to 106, I jumped up almost, 8 points. Then 109, I jumped up 3. And then we can jump up another 4 or 5. And then, yeah, keep going up to a red line. And then obviously as we hit here, that's when boost is going to start dropping off from going off of previous experiences. So I'm going to go through and do all this. Smooth it out, make it look a bit prettier. Fix a few of these little divots here. Figure out why they're doing that. It's 87 to 78 and then back to 87. It's a big drop. And that could just be because I was changing gears as well. So, that kind of thing there, I'll just smooth her out. And that one there, 81, 82, 83, 84, 91. Jesus. Smooth that out as well. Alright, well, I'll go do this and then I'll come back and go for another drive. Alright, so we're trying something on the head. Yeah, it's I'm using my phone to control it. Yeah, anyway. I look like a fucking dickhead. Look. Anyway, let's have a look at this log. So, I've done the log, done the fucking tune. Now I gotta load up Adaptronic and load up the new tune changes. Do I want to close? Yes, I do. Best thing about this Adaptronic is it powers off USB, so I don't even have to have the car turned on and I can fucking tune it. Well, obviously you have to have the car running to tune it, but you can change the tune however you want without the car running. Now I've done the tuning on the other computer, so now I just got to load up the changes and then override. And that's the VE that we're working with now. So idle will be about here, and then we'll go up into boost and come this way. So it should go that way. Yeah, that way. That's written. I'm yet to figure out a way to stop this though, because the wideband, Innovate wideband, takes 10-15 seconds to warm up, and the car tries to correct it because everything's just running at 7.5. Runs like shit until it warms up and goes, oh shit, now I'm running lean. See, like that. And then goes, oh fuck, I'm lean, and then corrects and adds fuel, and it's good. So whatever, fucks me. I'll figure that part out later. I'll just wait for it to stabilize, and then we'll do it, start the log. Just going at 4K 60 frames a second so I can get some driving footage. Alright, looks like it's stabilized, so we're going to start log, save it as whatever. Chuck this down here. Alright, let's go. I feel like a dickhead driving around with a GoPro stuck to my head. It's crazy, I've already used about a third of a tank of fuel. I've only done 75 Ks. That's quite a bit of fucking fuel usage. Of it, but we'll see. I am waiting for the red light. Alright. Jesus. Yeah, 6% more fuel needed up there. 12.4, target to 11.4. I'm not going to go any higher on the rev range when it's running lean already. Which is surprising because I'm pretty sure up there we're running about 110% VE. That's a big difference to what it was. Turbo rotary again. Yeah, she's definitely got a bit of a lean spot. I can feel it. I can see it. Get a baseline of how much extra we need to add in, and then re-smooth out the map again so it's matching what we need. But I think we just need to add more up from, well, 4,500 up in the 7 psi range. Oh, it's got warm in here. Alrighty, so we're back again. It's been a couple of days of tuning. There was no point recording that because it was pretty repetitive. Now, I did find a problem, which I wish I had known sooner, but whatever, it is what it is. So essentially what happened was I did some pulls last night and I noticed that if you, like here for instance, right, first gear, the AFR target is this red line and my actual AFR is a white line. So AFR target here is 12.2, but that's at 6 psi. Now I went second gear and that's 8 psi and the AFR target is 12.7. And then third gear, 7 psi and that's 12.5. I was like, hang on a second, I know I'm asking for more than that. So let's just look at this for a second. And we're on V5. So this is the AFR targets that I'm using. So at 7 psi, it should be 11.6. At 0 psi, it's 12.5. Now I'm seeing pretty much 12.5 the entire time, give or take a little bit. And what I figured out was when the ECU, so the Adaptronic, goes into open loop, it stops updating the AFR target. So unlike most aftermarket ECUs, the AFR target does not change once you go into open loop. So whatever it was at when you went into open loop, so when you're in closed loop and this was correcting, as soon as it went into open loop, it just flatlines and stops. Which kind of throws out my little table, because now it's reporting need to take fuel out instead of add fuel, even though the AFR was 11.6 and I'm asking 11.5 or 11.6. Yeah, asking 11.6. So yeah, and there it's 12, there it's 12.5, there it's 13, 12.2, and yeah, it should be putting fuel in at 5,000 RPM at 7 psi, and that is here and here, but it's asking to take it away, and I couldn't figure out why, but that's why. So we can't continue using the spreadsheet for that because yeah, the target's not going to be right unless we modify the spreadsheet in a different way. Yeah, it's going to be, I mean, I guess we probably could just modify the spreadsheet because then it's just 7 psi is going to be 11.6, and then anything above that is going to interpolate to 11.1, and anything below that's going to interpolate to 12.5. So I guess, yeah, that's probably going to be the best, easiest way to deal with it. Yeah, I think there used to be an export function in here that you could export your ECU file, but yeah, I can't seem to find it anywhere. So they must have removed it, or I'm blind. So, and I'm just going to go change all that stuff, and then I will show you where I'm up to. Okay, so we've fixed a few problems, and finally making some progress. So I had to change closed loop control in the manual on the RX-8 forum, and even Adaptronic themselves. They had essentially closed loop set really, really high, so that the car would idle obviously and do less work for you to tune the VE to make it idle, and that ended up causing problems. So I've turned, essentially what I ended up doing was sitting on the driveway, turning closed loop off and going into open loop, and then just getting the AFRs down to 14.5 or 14.7 at idle and through the first 2,000 RPM. So up until 2,500 RPM, I got stable 14.7, and then I just came back in, turned closed loop on, and as soon as I turned it on, the idle started hunting, and it started going 1500 to 1700 and then down to like 700 and then up to 12 and then up to 15 and down to 7. It just kept going up and down, up and down, up and down. The only time I could get it to be stable was at 13.5 AFR, and until I changed the closed loop mode settings. So I changed it from what it says in the manual to this. So proportional gain is 2 instead of 0, and integral gain is 0 instead of 4, and maximum integral correction I set to 0. And that was mainly because anything above that it kept changing, but it still does correct. So technically, yeah, it should still correct, but it shouldn't correct, but it still does. So one little weird quirk with Eugene is if you turn trace on when you're log playback, you can't turn it off. So you got to go back in and then turn it off. But anyway, I'll just show you what we're dealing with now. So if we turn map trace on and play this, just reset it. I'll go to probably an actual decent area. So you see here, for instance, so everything's looking good. And it's taken off from a set of traffic lights, changing into second gear, getting stable, and then put the foot down a bit. So that's at that 6-7 psi. Everything there is good. Obviously, when you take your foot off the accelerator, you see these red come up red because we're at 22.4 AFR because we're in fuel cut decel. But that's what I've been trying to get this whole time, is these light blues everywhere. Obviously, there's a few little dark blue ones here, but I'm not concerned about them because depending on the load of the engine, if you're going uphill or downhill, it'll change a little bit anyway. So yeah, I'm not concerned about that because the next pull that you do, you might find that you're a little bit darker here, then you'll be lighter here, or you'll be darker, and then lighter. Yeah, so it's close. I mean, this is 0.01% out, and these are like 1%, 4% there. So nothing major. So what I had to do anyway was we changed injector times in dead times. So obviously 480 cc's for the primaries, which I'm using the yellows, and the 1650s for the secondaries because they're EV14s. So yeah, EV14 1650s, and 58 psi fuel pressure. And this is what I've had to do for dead times for the yellows, and that works pretty good. And dead times for the secondaries, and this works pretty good. Now, I don't think I had to change much else in here. I didn't change transient throttle, I did change. So transition time I changed down to 150 milliseconds, and async gain 175, and also changed the predicted map. So that is now set to this. So I noticed that when I put my foot down on the accelerator, the prediction for the map versus TPS was not coming into play, and it was going lean and then rich. And then I overcorrected, and then it was going rich and then lean and then rich again. So anyway, this is what I'm using now, which seems to work. I think that was it. Everything else is good. I changed AFRs back to 14.5 because I can now idle at 14.5. Yeah, so this is the log anyway for that exact playback. So you can see TPS in the yellow line. That's 100% from here. Get a little drop in AFR to 7, and then it goes to 11.7, then it goes to 12.7, and then it goes down to 12 and 11.8, 11.7, and stays around 11.4. And then change gears, and then same thing happens, drops down to 10.3 there, so that's a little bit too much overestimation, and then goes up to 12.4 there, yeah, and then drops down to 11.8, and then 11.8, 11.7, 11.6, 11.4, 11.3, and so on. So I'm pretty happy with that. It needs a little bit of more work. Like here's a 10.5, 10.2, and it was pulling hard in this area. Like when it was getting 10.5 AFI, it was probably the most powerful it's felt. But yeah, you can't run that rich all the time, especially on a Renesas. It doesn't like it very much. You sort of playing the gauntlet of misfiring versus running too rich, and yeah, it's not fun. So my VE table, so I ended up going back to using my spreadsheet as well, because I managed to get this working, so I could put in the VE, the megalog adjustments, and then copy and pasted it and then smoothed it out. So I didn't just dump it in there. Every time I did it, I've got to get rid of that damn thing again. Turn it off. There we go. So that's what the VE looks like now. So obviously idle's down here. As soon as you touch the accelerator, it pretty much skyrockets, and then yeah, all this is running relatively good. I haven't gone up to 75 to 8,000 RPM yet, so I'm sort of guessing these based off of a trend. So it's just weird that sometimes you get 4, 5, 11, 11, 10, 12, 14. So I'm assuming this will be 16. This might be 17, 18. And yeah, I'm not going to go above 8.5, so that's fine. And yeah, so to get an idle, I just pretty much grabbed everything here, set it all to 50. It ran lean under open loop, and then just went up and up and up until I got to 14.5, and then smoothed it out and interpolated in between. Then just did some steady state tuning here. So just low throttle, stationary, just to get these areas all tuned in, and then went for a drive and adjusted as I needed to. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I'm starting to increase the boost now because I'm a bit more confident in what the tune's doing. But yeah, I'm looking at a way now to be able to use launch control, but on the Adaptronic Select for the RX-8, you don't have a vehicle speed input. So if you turn this on, there's no way to get speed, so it doesn't know when to trigger. So yeah, I'm thinking, you probably could use the MVSS through the input of the Innovate, or I might make something to pull it out of the CAN bus and then turn it into an analog signal and then put it through the Adaptronic then. But anyway, not a massive problem. We'll see what happens with that. Until I can get that working, it's just manual. But yeah, I think that's pretty much covered it all now. So dwell times, actually, yes, I did do that. So because I'm running IGN1A coils, I did set variable dwell times because it's a smart coil. And this is what I've got now. And honestly, before that, I was at 3500 flat the entire time, and I was getting breakup at 10.7 AFR. And now I'm running 10.4 AFR, and I'm not getting breakup. But not all the time. Obviously, I'm not trying to target 10.4. I'm targeting 11.4, but occasionally it is going down. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. So yeah, we're just going to test this tune for another couple of days, maybe another week or two, and then yeah, seeing if we're going to go out to Rotary Reunite up at where is it? Lakeside at Dacabin, and maybe go on the track at that point. But yeah, we'll see how the car's behaving then, and yeah, hopefully we can get the other engine finished being built so I can actually run more boost and switch to E35, E40 fuel, so we can start running more boost at that point and more timing. Alrighty, so that was definitely a fun experience, to say the least. Like, it wasn't as hard as Versatuner. It's probably a lot easier, but yeah, it's something that I didn't really think would take that long. But there was a lot of weird shit with Adaptronic that I didn't expect to have problems with, like closed loop. But at the same time, Adaptronic is no longer around, so there's not really any development that's been put into it since like 2018. And that ECU's been out since 2005 or 2006. So it does work really well as long as you work within its limits. And obviously Adaptronic, you got no, with a Select anyway, you got no idle control. It's all done by the factory ECU. It resets DTCs rather than ignores them. So you still need some like Versatuner or Mazda Edit or Cobb access port to be able to remove like your factory air pump or remove the MAF entirely. Ignore codes, whatever. But the car is performing well for me now, and I'm running 8 PSI. I don't want to go any higher just yet because I'm still rebuilding the other engine. I've finally got it all dialed and studded. That was a mission by itself, and now I've got to work on the rotors and to do the RX-7 apex seals, and slot the corner seals so we can get the engine back together. But I did fuck up on that, and you'll see in that video when I post it up, yeah, unfortunately, RX-8, no one wants to do anything with them. They just, they put a cold air intake on them, put an exhaust on them, and that's as far as anyone ever really goes. Yeah, so anyway, you'll see that in that video, but hopefully this helps someone else. Obviously there's not a lot of information about Adaptronic out there, and obviously this is not perfect. I'm learning this as I go, and I've got it to the point where it is now, so I'm happy with that. But hopefully it helps you if you're watching this. But Adaptronic obviously got bought out by Heltech, so everything's all meshed into the Heltech ecosystem now, so you may not even need to know it, but at least it's out there. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one. I really can't wait to get this car back together. Like, my garage is a fucking mess. I got car parts everywhere, printers, got speakers on the ground, I'm running out of room. So yeah, I'm keen to get this one done for the wife so I can get it out of the garage.